Alright, back again, Luke here, and today I just want to give you guys a little bit of an update on that package that I got from Ken6275. If you remember, it was this Shock Troopers looking case, but unfortunately the game is not Shock Troopers and I was able to get this thing to work, so I figured I'd tell you guys or show you guys an important tip here for those of you who are just starting to get into MVS arcade collecting, and that is when you get some of these carts, these MVS carts, from time to time the contact points may be dirty on these. So what you're going to want to do is open these up from time to time and use some kind of cleaning brush or use a Q-tip with some rubbing alcohol or something to clean these contact points. What these things are designed to do is they're designed to be repairable. That's why there's these screw holes in here. But the one thing that you have to be careful of is reassembly. Now, I'm sure that Ken, when he got this, he got it in a lot, he said. I'm sure that the guy who took this thing apart didn't think about putting it back together, or maybe got sidetracked and put it back together really quickly. But the main cause of this thing not working was the fact that it was put together backwards. And what I mean by that is when you first take a look at these ROMs and you take a look at this board, you notice that the top part here, the EEPROMs are facing upward. Now, when we remove this first one, you'll notice that the EEPROMs are facing down, which they shouldn't be. With these Geo MVS carts, I've taken a few of these things apart, and one thing that I've noticed is that all of the EEPROMs should be facing towards the back of the cart. What I mean by that is this part here, this is the front, so if you flip it over, when you take out all the screws, all of these EEPROMs should be facing towards the back part of it. But in this case here, you can see on the bottom one, these EEPROMs and this ROM board is facing the front. So all I did here is take this thing and flip it around. And one other thing to keep a note of is that this small pin right here, or this smaller part, this plastic part, when it goes back in, you want to have this smaller end towards the front and this wider end towards the back. If you mix that up too, you might have some trouble. But generally this thing, I'm just using one hand here, but this thing will slide over the board like so. And there's a couple of slots in here on the board itself, and those will allow you to line everything up. There's also some holes in the board as well to keep the board in place. And let's see if we can do this here. Try and get this thing inside the plastic slots here on the sides. You can see there's that. So now that these EEPROMs are facing towards the back of the cart, we're going to put this the second one in here, and there we go, and that should fit in just nice and snug. There are some cutout parts here on the top, and these will also allow you to know which board goes in where. You can't put this board in first because of these slots here, they won't allow it, but you can put these boards in backwards. Now, fortunately, what I was able to find out, which is something that I don't recommend everybody go out and test, you know, it was something that I checked on this, and, you know, just by mistake, but when I plugged this board in, or when I pushed it in, the EEPROM and the secondary board was backwards, but it did start up the Neo Geo screen, well, the loading part of the screen, and it's pretty much locked up after that. So it didn't damage the boards at all, but it wouldn't play the game. It would just go through the green screen like it was about to start and then just go blank. So I think it's really cool that these things have a little bit of a safety mech in them, to where even if you have the board flipped around backwards, you're not going to fry it. So I find that really awesome. They really did some great engineering for this. But flipping that board around and then putting this case back together, hopefully this thing should fit back on there somewhat smoothly. There we go. Alright, so we got this all put in there. We're going to screw our screws back in. And I thought this board was actually Shock Troopers looking at the case, but it's not Shock Troopers. And it is a different game that is pretty common. Many people dislike it, but it works nonetheless, so it's a definite plus. But let's take this thing over here. And when you plug these things into your board, always make sure that the arrows are pointing with the arrows. Don't put these things in backwards, or you pretty much can't put these in backwards. They don't line up, so just make sure that you have the arrows lined up. Pop that in. Let's turn this beast on. And this is all it would do with the ROMs in backwards. But now putting them in the correct way, thing starts up. And this will be a familiar title for many of you guys out there. I'm sure you'll know this one. Like I said, not very loved by many people, but not too bad. Good old Ninja Combat. So, this is the game that was in there, but it is playing, it is working. There is no problem with this game cart at all. So, just want to show you guys here, kind of quick and simple fix for this cart. And just a little bit of a warning, when you do take these carts apart, make sure that you have these boards in the exact right way, or you're going to wind up with some problems. For example, the game screen not starting up, or maybe some sort of sound problems, I'm not sure, but at least the game won't start up. So if you're having any trouble with that, go back, check, make sure the board is put back in correctly, and you should have your game up and running. But that's about all for me for right now. Like always, I'll put up another video here soon, so thanks for watching.